schools, right? A teacher was attacked at the West African Senior High School. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, they issued a statement in relation to this, and I'm just going to walk us through brief excerpts of it and what their concerns are in relation to videos and pictures, some of which we'll share with you, of students attacking Friday the 13th, and this statement was released on that day. It says that during school hours on that said day, the 13th, some male student believed to be miscreant student of Frafraha Community Senior High School, identified only as Musan and Assam, and others were spotted in one of the classrooms of the school with some girls of the West African Senior High School. This situation was a violation of school rules, as visitors and strangers were not allowed on campus at the hour of the school period without authorization. Due to the launch of the 80th anniversary of the school, majority of the teachers were out attending the launch, leaving a skeletal staff to supervise the students. Now, the teachers, led by Mr. Nicholas Tay, having noted this violation of school rules, went there to confront the strangers. The teachers therefore went to the class to drive the unauthorized visitors away from the classrooms. This resulted in some confrontation between the teacher and the miscreant. These miscreants resisted the attempt of the teacher, which led to verbal exchanges. These unauthorized visitors held copious and printable insults on the teachers for trying to enforce discipline. More teachers from WAS were called in to help Mr. Nicholas Tate to drive the miscreants away from the school. After several efforts and support of other staff members, they reluctantly left the campus. Now, however, at about 4:30 p.m. the same day, the students from Afafraha returned with thugs on motorbikes, with one rider identified as Daddy, to the school to visit violence on the teachers of WAS. The teachers were beaten with sticks and clubs, and during the chaos, Mr. Tay, who appears to be their main target, was beaten severely, leading to physical injuries and psychological trauma. After several minutes of resistance, the teachers managed to repel the attack. The attackers managed to ride out of the school, leaving the teachers and students who witnessed the confrontation traumatized. The matter has been reported to the Adenta police, and they issued medical forms for Mr. Tay to visit the hospital for various tests and treatment. Let's get onto the phone and speak to Christian Idinkra. He's a chairman of the Medina Adenta Abokobi branch of NAT, who's joined us over the telephone lines. Mr. Idinkra, I appreciate you joining us, and I've just been going through the statement which you issued, which details the account of what transpired. There's a mention as well of a report to the police. But again, perhaps you want to help us understand in better detail what transpired.
Thank you, Marina. May I stand on all protocol to say good morning to our teachers within the Greater Accra region, specifically those also within the Medina, Adenta, Abokobi constituencies or municipalities, then narrow it to West Africa Senior High School. My brother, on the 13th, which is Friday of last week, to say, we had a challenge. We were launching our 80th anniversary as a school at Shippers Authority, Accra. And all of us couldn't go. So there was a need for us to leave behind some colleagues who will oversee situations whilst we were away. Just we were about doing or finishing the program at Shippers Authority. Some of us were inundated with calls. And these calls came worrying. What is the issue? two students from Fafraha Senior High School who, whichever way, I don't know, found themselves in one of our classes, Form 2, specifically Form 2 classes. And so those teachers available, one of them named in the letter or in the statement, had to approach and ask, why at this point you from different schools are here? What are you doing, or what were they doing? And it looks like these students who are highly deficited with sort of respect approached the teacher and said, well, we are not answerable to you. It's like, what do you mean? You came to my school within our jurisdiction, and you, as a student, you are questioning why I'm asking you what you were doing with our students. You got to leave. And so they were reluctant to leave. These two students were reluctant to leave. And so even after they left, around 4:30, whatever they went to do, we don't know. But the students came back with some tacks, some ropes, with sticks and even cutlasses, trying to inquire why that teacher had the audacity to walk their brother out of the school. And it was frightening. So some of our teachers had to run. And those who were bold were able to confront them. And then the one particular who sacked the students was pointed at, that Onuni, and then the attack occurred. And so we being mindful, and if you look at the Labor Act 2003 at 651, specifically if you look at Part 3, Section 9, which talks about the responsibility of the employer or the duty of the employer, one of them is to protect or take every step necessary to ensure the employer is safe to work. We decided that, well, we are not safe. And so we had to quickly rush to the Adenta police, where the gentleman in question, or my colleague teacher in question, was giving some forms, and then he went to the hospital. And so as we speak, I am here at the school waiting for Nicholas. And my brother, Egbeta, I must say that the ubiquitous nature of attacks on our teachers, let me say, and let me put on record, that attack on any teacher anywhere is attack on education everywhere. Those students from Fafaha should not think that they can come and misbehave here in West Africa Senior High School and they will be safe at their school, because it is the same teachers who are going to teach them, and already we are in touch with them, the teachers over there. Our desire is that once we have the rules that cater for students' misbehavior, we will also leave the GAS to take its course whilst we pursue the criminal aspect of those tags that came here. Those tags that came here to come and inflict pain on our teacher.
Right.
Look, that is not the only instance. There were some students from another school that nearly took one of our teachers with scissors. That one, we were able to manage it. But this very one, my brother, as a union leader, we will not leave this matter to lie.
Right.
Look at what happened at Kede. Look at what is happening to our teachers here. Today, it may be that my colleague teacher, and it may be me, myself. And so, as a union leader, we do not intend to stop at anything to ensure that these tags that are brought by these students, we will identify the students and they will produce the tags. Already the police, that aspect is in the hands of the police.
It's being handled by the police.
Yes, please.
Some important points from what you raise.
Yes.
This is not the first time an attack of such a nature is happening at WAS, to be specific. You're mentioning that a student had attempted to stab a teacher with a scissors. Was this a student from your school, or it was again a student from outside seeking to attack a teacher within the
Students from
school.
outside. Students from outside. And I do not know. Of course, let me state also that as management does everything possible to improve security, WAS is a very big place. And often, there are some of the places and locations in West Africa Senior High School. Should you come, you realize that there are some of the places that you cannot go. If you are in the school, but you are frightened to walk through those places. Why? Because there are some miscreants, some vagrant yobis who are all scattered around, smoking day long, and there were times that we reported. I, as a NAC chairman, we were at the commander's place, Adenta. We just here, the road is just the boundary. We went there. They came to actually survey the area and promised that they are going to patrol. But I do not know what happened. I can't speak for them. As we speak, our uncompleted teachers' bungalow is overtaken by these miscreants, and you cannot dare pass there because they are highly, highly on drugs. The police is aware. I will not mince words on this. Please, the police are aware of this situation. And you see, like I said, if you come to West Africa Senior High School, some of the walls are very feeble. So the new headmaster, in touch with the alumni, raising the walls from the eastern side. And so we are seeing some visibility of efforts being made to ensure infiltration of people who are not accredited or who we have nothing to do with. And so it is expected that we collaborate with the police to ensure that all these people within, if you come, it's like a cattle range area. Sometimes during school hours, you will see cattle moving around. During school hours, motorbikes. And as much as we have internal security, we have to empower them to work. But our own security, most recently, if not 2 months back, was attacked.
Your own security protecting students.
And so we have security. We have internal security.
But you said they were attacked. They were attacked recently as well.
Yes. You see, so we cannot, as teachers, live in perpetual fear in an environment that we are to nurture kids and tell them that which is good and which is to be done. And so if today, me, the teacher, I am getting afraid and fear of my life because of my colleagues, students, or my students, the teachers will soon begin to also arm themselves. Don't be surprised.
Right.
Don't be surprised. Our teachers will begin to acquire weapons to protect themselves.
I'm not sure we've reached there quite yet, but
it is written there because look, as at today, where the attack occurred, teachers sit there to monitor students. Today, when I went there, none of them was willing to. In fact, nobody is there. Who monitors the students over our own students? If it takes some miscreants to have the guts, do they think that the teacher also doesn't have a family? We also have family. We come from family. We also have miscreants in our families that if we want to retaliate, it will be worse and bloody. But because we are learned, we cannot take the law into our hands.
Right.
But the time is coming.
Right.
And the time is soon that our teachers will begin to acquire weapons. Let me repeat. Our teachers will begin to acquire weapons to also defend themselves.
Hopefully we do not get there. But
hopefully
you mentioned that you've been in contact with the teachers at Frafraha, where this student is believed to have come from, and he returned to the town to bring thugs.
Yes,
have the teachers been able to help identify the said student, one that can assist?
Yes, as a matter of fact, our district director of education will be coming to have meeting with our teachers, because our teachers today, we have to start our terminal exams. But look, the teachers are not willing. The teachers are not willing. And as their leader, I cannot force or not to force someone to perform his duty if he or she is afraid of the environment.
So what? The exams is not going to happen today?
We are yet to meet our district director of education, and if you look at the pre-tertiary education at 2020 at 1049, the administration of SHSs are under the region. I am aware. My district director, in a conversation yesterday on this same issue, informed me that the regional director has summoned, and therefore he will be coming this morning to pick up information on the issue or apprise himself, then later meet with our regional director. In the interim, I cannot say that the exam will come on or not come on. We are waiting for him. Soon as he comes, we are waiting for him. When you come right now, our teachers are in red. They are getting fed up and tired of the insistent, unwarranted, uninvited attacks on our teachers. And that is why I am saying that please, if care is not taken, our teachers will begin to acquire weapons for themselves. And let it not be said.
Right. I want us to slow it down on teachers acquiring weapons for themselves and talk to me about Mr. Tay and what his condition is currently.
Mr. Tay is stable now.
Was he admitted at the hospital?
Yes, please. And himself will be coming with a family. We are expecting him to come along today. I am yet to speak to him, but my information clearly is stating that he is okay by God's grace, but has some wounds on himself. I pray that these wounds doesn't incapacitate him from performing his duty. And so I will be standing by and let's see what happens next. Okay?
Any updates from the police since you reported?
Yes, this morning we will be going to the police to ascertain the extent to which they've gone with their investigation.
Have they visited the school, the site of the incident, spoken to anybody?
Yes, please. They came. That one, they came. That is for my information. They came. And they even visited the alleged hookup place where so-called thugs are based, as to whether they were able to pick someone or any of them. We are yet to be apprised with that information. Like I said, when the municipal director of education comes, we will now know exactly to what extent the police have also advanced in their investigation.
Finally, on management of the school, what their position has been and the support given to the teacher following that rather unfortunate attack.
The management is likely to arrange. That is the information in a conversation. Management is going to secure some psychological support for our brother Nico and those other teachers who have to run for their life. And then after the meeting, we will visit the family likely. And so the administration has been active. But like Oliver Twist, I am a union leader. No matter what the administration is doing, I will only appeal that they do more. In doing more, I must say that we as a union, we will support any act that management takes or any decision that management takes to ensure that teachers within the WAS community are safe to perform their duty for which they are employed. And so we are supporting them. But I think that management needs to do more in taking interest in the security of our teachers and non-teaching staff to ensure that productivity is not impeded by miscreants, by some of these attacks on our colleagues.
Right.
Marina Egbeta.
Right. I appreciate you speaking to us this morning, Ms. Edinkra.
I am grateful to you, and so please, we will advise you how far we've gone with the processes. But please, Marina, I am telling you that our teachers are afraid. Our teachers are not safe. Our teachers are not secure on the campuses of WAS to perform their duty.
Right.
Because the attacks are becoming too much. And that is where I am saying, like you prayed me not to say.
Yes, I'll pray you not to continue on that tangent. But
I plead for our teachers to exercise caution while steps are taken to ensure their safety in West Africa Senior High School. Thank you.
All right, thank you as well. Christian Edinkra is the chairman of the Madina Denta Bokobi NAT. Speaking to us this morning, a rather unfortunate turn of events where a teacher, Nicholas Tay, became the subject of attack by students and thugs from Frafraha Senior High School. They were on the campus of WAS. The teacher had asked that they leave. The question is authority to ask them to leave, and they resorted to attacks on this person. It will take me on to this very short break here on the 3FM Sunrise. When I return after this break, we'll get into a bit more in terms of other persons who are supposed to be providing a bit more for us, but I understand we can do that before going on to the break. Dr. Peter Pateanti is the president of the Institute for Education Studies. He's joined us on the telephone line as well. Doc, I appreciate you joining us this morning. I trust that the weekend was kind to you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Good morning to your listeners.
Absolutely. Not the first was seeing incidents of attacks on teachers. We've seen that over the course of the last few years happen a number of times. In most instances, we've seen it from students attacking their own teachers in their own school. This one was seeing a completely different situation where a student from outside, from another school, came into WAS, and I'm very sure you're familiar with the story, but things appear to be degenerating, even though we're being promised decisive action to return discipline into our schools.
This is a disturbing incident. I watched the videos last night, and I've read the statement from. It seems that we are not getting any headway with the issue of incest in our schools, because I still can't understand why students who are being taught by teachers would turn around and bring their colleagues to come and harass the teacher to that extent. And this is the highest form of indiscipline. For me, I think what we need to do is to escalate some of these things to the level of criminality. Just like the president said when the Kede incident happened, there should not be any, arrangement within the school system or from GES to treat this as a disciplinary issue. As a school disciplinary issue. This is a clear incident of assault, and the students should be arrested and dealt with according to law. I think if we start treating these in this way, most of them would be a little bit circumspect in how they relate with the teachers, especially when they know that these records will be on their file, and one day it can come against them.
In the Kade incident, we saw that they were subsequently put before court and they were fined. An argument can be made whether or not that was deterrent enough. In this instance, the matter has been reported to the police, investigations are ongoing, and what have you. For the institution GS and the plans to return discipline into the schools, there's been a lot of things mooted. The talk of corporal punishment and what have you having to return into our schools is one that is greatly debated. From where you sit, yes, we must treat this as criminal matters, but within the institution GES and the senior high schools, what must we begin to see and do to bring back that fear factor again and prevent students from being able to freely engage in criminal acts like these?
And unfortunately, I don't subscribe to this corporal punishment. Imagine, look at the video again. Imagine the teacher was or decides to cane them. These students would have resisted, probably collect the cane and then use it on the teacher. So I'm not one of those who think that the indiscipline we are experiencing in schools is because teachers are not using canes. I don't think so. One, I think that there should be, increased training for our school security officials. I still wonder how these other people from the town entered the school without the notice of the school security. So we have said long ago that it is time that we look at how our school security system is taken. You should have people who are trained with that security mindset and to be able to identify students from non-students, do random checks and all that. So one of the things that you can do or should be doing is to have a second look at the school security system. Another thing that I think GES should be doing is to have a situation whereby students who engage in this, their attitude and everything is documented, okay? So that at the end of the day, when you apply and when you are taking your results, this is also added like a testimonial, something that we normally do, but not at an extensive level. So we should have that situation. I'm also thinking that to be more deterrent enough, we should have a system whereby when students are applying for admission at the tertiary institutions, they should have some sort of behavior report from their senior high schools. Very, very important. So that if that behavior report is added to the application form, the university will know the caliber of students that they are admitting. That would also be enough deterrent for students who want to just do anything and because they know that if they are not careful, the report will be on their file. That file would end up on the admission table of a university or an institution that they want to attend, and that can lead to them not being admitted. Okay, so I think there are several reforms that GES can undertake to ensure that students comply with whatever disciplinary issues that they would want to take. I believe that we still have to we don't have to put much premium on corporal punishment because if you look at the caliber of students that we are having now, I won't be surprised when a teacher tries to discipline someone using a cane. They will pounce on the teacher.
And then it turns around on the teacher. But
exactly,
Doc,
exactly.
Do you think the GES has approached this subject matter of students in discipline in schools with the urgency that it deserves, considering the number of incidents we've witnessed and all that?
I would say not totally. I don't think that we have shown, not only the GES, this is an issue of, it's a policy issue. So even the Ministry of Education, I don't think they've shown enough in the extent to which students are being very indisciplined in our schools. I don't think so. Because if they have, we would have seen some policy directions in terms of how we want students to behave in our schools, and that would have been implemented by the Ghana Education Service, because our structure of education system makes the the Ministry of Education the one that is in charge of policy. Can we name one or two or three policies that have been forcefully put on the table by the Ministry of Education, targeted at ensuring that discipline is maintained, sustained? Now, one or two or three of them, I doubt so. So I think that the whole educational system, those responsible, have not taken this issue very serious, and if you are not careful,
Doc, I appear to be losing you a bit on the telephone line. Are you still with me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so I was saying that we cannot talk about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 policy directions in terms of indiscipline. I mean, in terms of how we should tackle this indiscipline from the perspective of the managers of educational system. The Minister of Education is in charge of policy directions, and it is supposed to be implemented by the Ghana Education Service. I can't at the top of my mind mention about 5 indiscipline policy directions that have been given by the Minister of Education. So I'm saying that if we are not careful, this thing will consume us. I think there needs to be leadership by bringing out policies, not just directives, but policies that would be now implemented by the Ghana Education Service as to how we should tackle this aspect of school indiscipline, students attacking teachers, students burning down school property, students attacking fellow students. There should be a comprehensive policy direction from the Ministry of Education. I think we have not been able to do that. The GES tries to caution for example, look at the Kede issue. It took the president to say that you cannot settle this at the school level. You need to make sure that the guys go through the criminal system. And that is where we were able to now get this done. This is supposed to be something that the Minister of Education should be championing. And I think that the Minister of Education has not shown enough commitment to dealing with the issue of indiscipline in our schools.
Doc, I appreciate you and the thoughts that you shared with us this morning, and most certainly is something that we'll look forward to engaging a bit more on subsequently. That's Dr. Peter Patianti speaking to us this morning.